In this video, we'll take a look at how to analyze data once you have the graphs and the summary statistics. So this can go with both the discussion board and also with part 3 when you create the graphs that you're going to create. So I'm going to go ahead and open our written assignment. We'll go in the modules. Make sure you have your written assignment directions open. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open them here. So the second part of the assignment, part 1 is your technology lab. Part 2 is the discussion board due in Canvas. It's actually, I changed the due date to the 13th. You're going to be provided with a histogram, summary statistics, and a box plot of median household income, and then asked to answer each of the following. So let me take you to the discussion board so you can see what's going on. So in the discussion board, and I think I have a link in here. Yep, when you go to the discussion board, what I've got is, if it's too small for you to see it here, I'm going to go ahead and open the PDF file. So what I've done is I've taken median income per state from the year 2020, all 50 states, and analyzed the data by making a histogram, and I made 2 different histograms. We recommend between 5 and 10 classes. This data worked out if we let the data set, let me show you the data set I used. The median income, so I looked through here, found out what the smallest value was, the largest value, and then looked at, well, it looks like maybe $10,000, all the data values will fit. So I used a class width of 10,000. So I copied and pasted into StatCrunch and did just what we did in the technology lab. So the first graph is using 5 classes, and then the second graph, I just wanted to know, well, what happens if I use class sizes of 5,000 instead of 10,000? I've got a lot more bars. It's still within the 5 to 10 limit. So your first question is that you'll answer on the discussion board is, which one of these do you think displays the data better? And there is no right or wrong answer. You just have to justify which one you think displays the data better. Then on your discussion board, there are questions to answer. So after you question 1, question 2 is use the first histogram, write one statement interpreting what the histogram shows, including specific statistics, etc. Number 3 is going to ask you about measure of center and what the mean and the median are. So you'll explain how they are calculated and which best represents the data. Then number 4 gives you the standard deviation of the data set. You want to explain what that means. And then the box plot, write one statement interpreting what the box plot shows. So the statements on the histogram and the box plot for 2 and 5, if you look in our course, I've got some examples in, let me get to the assignment again. I've got some examples listed in the assignment. And it's also in the resources. But at the very bottom, there's an example of interpreting graphs in context to help you write sentences. So this data was average salary for secondary teachers. So here are some statements about this set of data. Okay, so you could have, there were 20 states, or approximately 40%, with an average secondary teacher salary of between $45,000 and $49,900. So this is what I mean by identifying specific number or percentage and then the actual values. Okay, you could have 8 states, approximately 16%, pay their secondary teachers between $60,000 and $69,900. So you can talk about each of the heights of the bars. You can talk about the shape. The shape of this one is skewed to the right. You can talk about specific states, the 4 states that pay the highest, 65,000 to 69,900 are California, New York, Illinois, and Massachusetts. So I just want you to take a look at the histogram and write one statement to interpret what you have posted in, what I have posted on the discussion board. Then I've also got examples of box plots. These are a little bit harder to interpret if you haven't worked with box plots. So what box plots do, this one is vertical. The bottom from this lower fence, it cuts your data up into 25%, 20 to percentiles, quartiles. So the first quartile is 45.9 or 45,900. So you could talk about the 25th percentile is $45,900. So that means 25% of the states or less have between $45,900 or less. You can talk about the middle 50%. That's the in between the first and third quartiles. So the middle 50% are between 45,900 and 56,700. You can talk about the range of the quartiles. You can talk about the third quartile is the 75th percentile. So you could say something like 75% of states pay secondary teachers an average salary between 37,700 and 56,700, with the upper 25% paying between 56,700 and 68,800. So those are some examples of interpretive statements for your box plot and for your histogram, and those are already in Canvas so that you can see. So that should help you with the discussion board interpreting. The other items are you might want to refer to measures of center and standard deviation. Refer to the textbook on which is a better, the mean or the median, and it depends on how your data set is spread out, if it has outliers or what the shape of your data is. And the standard deviation definition is in the textbook as well, and it's a measure of spread or a measure of dispersion. It's actually the mean, average mean distance each of your values is from the mean. All right, so I hope that helps with the discussion board and